You know that feeling when something in your daily life is just so frustrating, you think to yourself, ugh, there has to be a better way. Well, today we're going to dive into how that exact feeling, that little spark of annoyance, can actually be the starting point for a world changing venture. Let's get right into it.
Seriously, I want you to let this question sink in for a second. That everyday hassle, that thing that just doesn't work the way it should, what if that isn't just a problem? What if it's actually the most valuable idea you'll ever have, just waiting for you to notice it?
So, how do you actually make that jump from being frustrated to creating something amazing? Well, it all starts with this simple but really powerful shift in perspective. It's about learning to look at a problem and see not a roadblock, but a blueprint for what could be.
And this, right here, is the fundamental switch. It's what separates the entrepreneurial mindset from pretty much everyone else. Most people see a problem and, they get annoyed, they complain. An entrepreneur sees that exact same problem and they feel this rush of possibility. They're not just complaining, their brain is already racing, thinking about a solution.
So the key really is all about reframing. It's not just thinking, man, I'm hungry. That's a personal problem. It's thinking, wait a minute. Thousands of busy commuters get hungry every single day, and they have no healthy, easy-to-grab options. What if I created a nutritious, portable snack just for them? You see that? You see the difference? You've just gone from your own problem to a huge potential business. Okay, so once you have that spark, that incredible idea, you've got to give it some direction. Because without a clear destination, a sort of North Star, and a map to get there, even the most brilliant idea can just fizzle out. And this is where your vision and your mission come into play. Your vision, that's the big, audacious, inspiring dream. It's the what. Think about SpaceX wanting to make humanity a multiplanetary species. That's a vision. It's that huge 10 years down the road goal that answers the question, if we succeed beyond our wildest dreams, what does the world actually look like? Now, if the vision is that far-off destination, the mission is your roadmap to get there. It's the how. It's practical, it's grounded, and it's totally focused on the now. What are you doing today and tomorrow to actually move towards that giant vision? And right at the very heart of your mission is your value proposition. This is absolutely critical. This is the core promise you make to your customer. It answers their silent question, which is always, why should I care about this? It's not about your cool features. It's about how you solve their problem or make their life better. Honestly, if you can't nail this, nothing else really matters. This slide lays it out perfectly. Vision and mission are a team. Your vision is the why that inspires everyone to get on board. But without a mission, it's just a daydream. And your mission is the how that drives action. But without a vision, it's just busy work with no purpose. One's the destination, the other's the roadmap. You absolutely need both. But here's the thing. A great plan isn't enough. Not even close. Because true entrepreneurship isn't just a project you work on, it's a way of life. It's a mindset and a spirit that you have to carry with you into every single decision you make. I absolutely love this quote because it just shows you how all-consuming this really is. It's not some hat you put on from 9 to 5 and then take off. Your venture becomes the lens for everything. Every conversation you have, every article you read, you're constantly subconsciously asking, how does this relate back to my business? And this mindset is fueled by what we call the entrepreneurial spirit. It's this really potent combination, right? You need the passion to even get started, the purpose to stay focused, the curiosity to question everything, and this one's huge, the sheer, stubborn persistence to get through all the setbacks when most people would just give up. Okay, so where do these big, world-changing ideas even come from? It's so easy to think it's just some magical aha moment that strikes like lightning. But the truth is, creativity is actually a process. It's a framework that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and apply. And this illustrates that process perfectly. First, you prepare. You just immerse yourself in the problem, soak up all the information you can, and generate a ton of ideas. No bad ideas at this stage. Then, and this is key, you incubate. You step away. You go for a walk. You take a shower. You let your unconscious mind connect all the dots in the background. That leads to illumination. That's the aha moment. And finally, you verify. You start actually building, testing, and refining that idea in the real world. Now, during that first preparation stage, it's super useful to know the difference here. Brainstorming is focused. So if the problem is helping the homeless, you think of logical solutions, food, shelter, clothes. But divergent thinking, that's where you break the rules. It's about generating ideas that might seem totally unrelated. So you're not just thinking about food, you're thinking about social media and video and family connections. And suddenly you arrive at a completely new and maybe much more powerful solution.
Okay, so we've gone through the mindset and we have the process for generating ideas. Now let's look at the incredible real-world impact of all this. Because this isn't just theory, right? This way of thinking is actively reshaping our entire world as we speak. And the need for this kind of new thinking has never been more urgent. I mean, just look at this number. It is staggering, 47%. Nearly half of all jobs are at risk because of new technologies like AI. The old ways of doing things are breaking down, which means we desperately need entrepreneurs to step up and create the new ones. And this is exactly what entrepreneurs do. They create what we call disruptive technologies. They don't just improve on the old way of doing things a little bit. They create an entirely new way that makes the old way basically obsolete. And you know what? There is no better example of this than Airbnb. The founders of Airbnb weren't sitting around trying to build a slightly better hotel. No way. They were asking a totally different question, one that the entire hotel industry wasn't even thinking about. And by doing that, they put these giant established companies into what's called the innovator's dilemma.
This right here is that opportunity identifying perspective in action. They didn't see a problem with hotels, necessarily. They saw a massively unused resource, people's empty spare rooms. And by simply connecting that resource to a need, they created a global inventory of rooms without building a single one. They completely blindsided an industry worth billions.
And the result? I mean, the numbers on this slide are just mind-blowing. Look at that. A company that owns 0 hotels is valued right up there with giants like Marriott that have been around for decades. This just proves the incredible power of a single disruptive idea. It is not about having the most resources. It's about having the most creative and courageous mindset.
So, we've walked through the mindset, the process, and the unbelievable potential. The only question left is the one right here on the screen. What frustration in your life is just sitting there, waiting to be turned into an opportunity? What problem will you solve?